Greg, do you have heal? Or, oh, you healed yourself? Okay, that's cool.
So, dudes, on this episode of the Gregor Gaming Experience, we'll be talking about Sage, the Valorant Protocol's resident orb ponderer.
Opponent killed. Barrier created.
No way. No way. You're a beast, Greg. Last one is super.
Sage is a very defensively designed character. Duh, she's a Sentinel, that's the job. She is probably somewhat more defender-sided, though, than most Sentinels because her flank watch abilities, at least compared to KJ, Cypher, and Chamber, are not that great. So the way she makes up for that is by being a heal provider and a CCing machine. She can slow the enemy, making their ability to retake after a site execute very difficult, and she can stall pushes on defense. Her ability to manipulate enemy movements is very powerful, and there's a reason she has stayed relatively high in terms of pick rate for the last couple of years. Obviously, the ability everybody knows about with Sage is her heal because her teammates won't shut up about it. You need line of sight to use it. You can also heal yourself and get those 60 hit points, but the heal takes twice the amount of time to keep battle sages from battle saging. What's not so straightforward about Sage's heal is the realm of human behavior, the realm of psychology, the realm of communication. And this is much more difficult. If you need a Sage heal, do establish line of sight with your Sage and call for a heal. Don't fucking do this. Don't go Sage! 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 If you're in France and Sage is in Bermuda, well, that's a little bit of an issue, isn't it? Obviously, she can't heal you. I understand the compulsion to demand that a Sage play like a team player. Once in a while, I get a battle Sage who ego challenges 1v1 gunfights, lurks by herself, and generally does things that a duelist should probably do instead. But I got my pick, so it's shut up, bro. I get more, bigger number, bro. Bigger number better. That being said, just use your fucking mic and ask. It's not that hard. More often than not, most Sage players will be courteous enough to get line of sight on you and do just that. You or your Sage, or both of you, have to readjust to do that. Don't give me the argument, oh, well, Sage should just be with me at all times, like Backpack Yoda. No. Then you don't have to get in an argument during the prep phase and then not strat anything, and then everyone's mood is down, and then everyone's pissed off, okay? Just pro gamer fact, use the microphone to communicate with teammates. Crazy concept. Now that I'm done talking about the heal, I can get to the meat and potato, dumplings. Ponder the slow orb by hitting the respective button and left-clicking to yeet it towards intended destination. The orb has a weird quirk where it can bounce provided the angle that it strikes a surface at is sharp enough. Just think of it kind of like a game of pool. If the ball will bounce at an angle that is shallow, then it will activate and coat the ground in sticky rocks. If the angle is sharp, it could bounce back on top of you. Be careful. Sticky rocks make it more difficult for you to jump and leave a sound cue when you walk on them. This can be convenient to put slow fields on spots behind cover. It also acts as an intel gathering tool. That's interesting. So you can kind of gauge where the enemy is and how they're peeking you depending on whether or not they are in the slow field.
I'm getting robbing. What?
Oh my god.
Pushing.
You can start engagements and even chain them with your teammates to deal damage to the enemy with abilities like raise nades. For example, Sage is really useful on Split because of that map's heavy emphasis on verticality. If she can manipulate the enemy's ability to control the high ground, like here on a Split A-take, that's pretty powerful. Likewise, on defense, she can easily slow off a push, back off, and prepare for the enemy's move with her teammates. The slow orb costs 200 creds, and she can get up to 2 of them.
Really?
Yeah. They cover a pretty significant amount of terrain for 7 seconds. Sage also has the ability to create the Great Rock Wall of China to deter the enemy from entering the site. There are some quirks about the wall that I think are worth mentioning. The wall is useful for a number of reasons. It provides a degree of vision denial, which is nice, but it also provides crowd control by virtue of the fact that the wall has to be destroyed, which requires you to stop and shoot it. It costs 400 creds for a reason, as its presence can greatly impact the course of a round and is often one of the most instrumental aspects of a site execute due to its ability to protect her while she's planting the spike, provided that the wall is placed not right in front of an opponent's face. Bars, dude. I didn't even do that on purpose.
Wall raised.
The issue there being The wall is very brittle in the initial stage of its deployment. If the wall is shot out during this time frame, then its effects aren't as useful. However, the wall will refortify itself to full health after a brief window of time following its deployment. The wall can have up to 4 distinct blocks that it is comprised of, and it gets broken in these parts specifically. In addition to acting as a defensive tool, the wall can also be used for mobility as a boost. I know that these walls are often used for clips and fragtages, and they are useful for that in terms of their ability to create off angles, but why would you be defaulting to these trick walls when you could just play Jet? Yes, I know the Jet boosts are more predictable. You know, these really weird Sage walls, oh, she can get in a spot. That's really weird. No one's going to expect that. Okay, but the problem is that it costs 400 freaking credits, okay? These weird spots were more commonly used before the econ changes about 1.5 years ago. So I use these for very limited situations. Know exactly what you're trying to accomplish with the boost and consider if the boosts are even feasible. I'll share with you this interesting trick my buddy Bird showed me in combination with Omen for a B take on Ascent.
Shit, my pistol got through though. Fuck!
Big brain. Now I'd say that boost is worth it. I usually pocket the walls though for enemy sight takes and to cut off access to the site when I establish control on attack. That's pretty much it. Sage's res is obviously a pretty freaking good ability. The ability to tip the man count in your favor at the click of a button can often change the outcome of a round. But how do you know when to use it? It costs 8 ult points, so you don't get it very often. My advice, contrary to what I would tell you for something like a Cypher ult, which has less cost, is to use it only when it makes sense to, okay? Don't use the res in a 4v1 situation or in a round you're certain to lose like a 1v4. Equal man count rounds like 2v2, 2v3, stuff like that. Don't bait the ult unless you absolutely have to. One of the more contentious points of rezzing is knowing who to res. Sometimes your teammates will compete for the privilege of it. Do this at your discretion.
Fuck. Attack for 40. You can
Go
res
up and res me. Go up and res me, baby
Alright,
girl. I'm right up
is
there.
in Bro, Lash just went onto site.
Spike planted.
Rude. You don't want to res
If
me.
you want to res me, I'm right there.
Ah!
You can use the ult as a bait to draw an opponent out and kill them, but don't do this. Don't bait the teammate that you're rezzing and then just hide in the corner and continue to hide in the corner after your teammate is killed. Okay, you should think of yourself as the support vanguard for your team, willing to put your life on the line for the teammate that you're reviving. As far as eco-rezzing is concerned, it's a bit more difficult to justify now because of that high cost.
I guess I don't buy normal guns anymore, only the Ares? Got it.
But I would only res in full buy rounds or when you've picked up the enemy's guns on an eco and can afford to take a risk to get that round win. That's it. So yeah, this video has been pretty straightforward, but Sage is a pretty straightforward character. I will say this, don't blow your util. Sage is a character all about timing. If you just yeet the slow orbs at random without thinking into consideration what the enemy is doing, you're not going to get a lot out of it. So use your ears to try to time the abilities in sync with the enemy's foot stomping. It'll make their push more difficult and let you combo with your teammates' utility, like Astra, Raze, Phoenix, whatever. Try to play with your teammates as much as you can. Don't lurk or battle stage by yourself. You should theoretically be the second person into the site because if you take the first engagement and die, then your heals are useless. On defense, Sage is very useful against a team that does nothing but swing. All these guys do is fucking swing.
All we gotta do is sit in corners.
What the fuck? Play defensively and play off of your teammates. Get your util down in post plants and use it to keep the enemy from establishing site control on the terms that they want. Remember that you can throw your slows from a distance and make dealing with your op a bit more difficult as well, because you can deny Peeker's advantage.
One enemy remaining.
Okay.
I'll leave you guys with a match point clip from my stream where I use all of Sage's abilities to help with the site execute. Links to both are in the description. Thanks so much for helping out the channel, and until next time, deuces.
Okay, we're probably going heaven.
Can't heal, can't heal, can't heal.
Nice.
Now I can heal.
Two CT, one heaven. Chamber for sure going heaven. Nice.
Oh,
Yep.
yes,
Heaven.
ult. Heaven.
Yeah.
Still there, still there, still there.
120. Enemy remaining.
Come on.
Duty is not over.
The bait.
Attacker
Good fucking shit, Greg.
Thanks. Let's go, guys.
Let's
That was
go.